All right, so here is our Latin Trivium table. And this first page is all of the nouns. And this is something that we use constantly. You see something in your vocab, you're not sure what declension it is, but you have your endings, so you can just look straight down and find your endings, and it helps so much. So if you look across the top, you see it shows all 5 of the declensions, and then the gender, and the next, the number, singular, plural. Here is our cases and the meaning of each, and our singular endings, the backslash, the plural, singular, plural, all the way over. Also very important is they have the neuter exceptions in there, and the I stem exceptions and third declensions, so those are very, very helpful in doing all of the translating and what we use it for. It also has a beautiful section down here, and our third declension helps for gender, because third declension is always weird. Nothing is normal in third, so it's so great to have it right here at your fingertips. You have the gender rules and all of that. Then these are great for just different things as we hit the I stem and more advanced concepts as we go through our Latin. The next page is all about verbs, and I have mine all marked up because I use mine constantly, and this gives me helps. I just use like a wet erase marker to help me make notes of my verbs. So here we have our indicative, mood, active, passive. And then over here is one of the most important section of verbs, and this is our 4 principal parts and the 4 conjugations. And those colors, the blue, and then the lighter blue, the green, and the yellow are all meant to match over here, so you can match the colors for the conjugations. I love this because it gives the English translation for the verb when we're actually using it, gives our endings, so we can see those in all 4 principal parts. Then here we have our subjunctive mood and our imperative mood. And then down here we have conjunctions. If we turn the page, we have pronouns, and we have adjectives and adverbs and prepositions. This preposition section I use constantly. Constantly, it's so awesome. Because what preposition takes ablative? Wait, which one takes accusative and why? And then they have it there. Then when we get into challenge B, we really need to understand the ablative of means and agent, and they're right there, and it's so much fun to have it available. But on the very back is what you'll see in all of the daily Latin assignments, because this quid et quo matches the same pattern as our essentials quid et quo did when we were doing essentials. So this is foundational and essential, and it helps so much in translating. So this first one, I'm going to just do a Latin to English translation. So if you'll notice on the side here, it says step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, if you see on the top. Okay, and so the first thing I do in the gray line is write my Latin sentence. So it's militis inaci errant. Okay, and then I've kind of erased a little bit, sorry, but it's noun, noun, and then verb is my second thing. Okay, so then once I know it's a noun, noun, and a verb, see my colors here. We've got colors down here. Well, the nouns are in blue. So I'm going to do, and then the verb is in yellow right underneath it. So first of all, it says best practice order. Do you see that at the top? Find and parse the verb first. That is the best word of advice ever given. So yes, we will start with our verb, errant. Well, let's say I'm doing this and I don't have a clue what errant is. I'm going to grab my blue grammar book, which I have tabbed, and I have all of my students tab all of these sections because it is life-changing. So I know that errant is irregular, so I'm going to grab the irregular tab. And here I have my irregular verbs. And I know it's a form of sum, but I'm not sure which, so I find it. Oh, there it is, errant. They were. Third person, plural. So I go over here and it asks here for the conjugation, but irregular verbs don't have one, so I write irregular. Then I know that they ask for person and number. Well, I just saw that there, and it was third person plural. But if I also look again, it is imperfect tense. So in my tense, I write imperfect. And then what mood is it? I'm not sure. Let me look. There it is, indicative. So I'm going to make my mood indicative there, and then it wants to know if it's active or passive voice, and it's active, and it's not a verbal, so we won't fill that out. So we just filled out all of our verb section. Okay, now it says best practice at the top, find and parse, be the subject. All right, well, I'm not sure for sure which one's going to be the subject, so I'm just going to start with my first noun, militis. All right, I look at this noun, I'm like, oh man, I don't remember. What declension is it? What is it? I don't remember. So this handy Trivium table just folds back. So now I can see all of my nouns. All right, well, I know I have militis, all right, and it ends with a macron es. I have a suspicion it's going to be third declension, and if you'll notice, third declension is the only one that offers endings in the macron es. Do you see that? It has three choices. We have here in the nominative, we have it in accusative, and we have it in the vocative, which we're not even using. So we basically have two choices. We have the nominative and the accusative. All right, well, and looking at my sentence, I'm going to fill this in. I know that it's nominative, and it's because it is not going to be a direct object in the sentence, because you can see that there is no direct object after that accepts anything from the verb. So we're doing nominative, and we just found on our chart that it was third declension. So I put third declension, and then nominative, and then I put plural because it's the es on the second half of our number C, plural, macron es. But how do I know it's masculine? Well, you go down to your third declension helps for gender, and you see gender rule number 1 is natural gender first. Well, in the days of this Latin writing, soldiers were male, so we have masculine. All right, that noun is finished. Let's go to the next noun, and we have a preposition in front of it, but I always put those with it because it just makes it easier. In acai. So we're going to look and see what declension that's going to be. So this ends in a macron of an E. So I look all through my chart and find what ending might have a macron with an E, and I see the only place I see that is one place on the chart, and that is fifth declension ablative. Fifth declension ablative. So right here is my fifth declension ablative noun, and it is singular. So it's going to be used. It says here is ablative is object of the preposition, preposition noun. Okay, well, I know I already have my preposition of in, so I'm going to mark this as fifth declension ablative feminine. Why is it feminine? I don't remember. Well, let's look. You go back to your blue grammar book, and you go to nouns, and we go over to our fifth declension, and we see rule for 70, gender. All are feminine except these. All right, so that's not one that I have, so I know that my acai or whatever is feminine because of rule 70 in my blue grammar book. All right, so there we go. So I have that done. Now the next step is just to literally underneath it translate it in English. So the soldiers we knew because that was supposed to be plural. Okay, In battle line, we know that because it's supposed to be singular. We found that out already. And then they were. We saw that already when we saw our blue grammar book. Okay? Then the last step is put it in regular speaking order, because we don't say the soldiers in battle line they were. So we need to put it in. It says write the sentence in correct English or best Latin word order. So in this case, we're going Latin to English, so it's the soldiers were in battle line. So that is how you use one example of using the Trivium table to help you translate.